the book of other readings. Okay? And that is why the book of the Gospels is carried during the procession. Okay? Because it is distinct from all other books. Okay? Now, in number 44, number 44, can someone read number 44?
Among gestures included are also actions and processions of the priest going with the deacon and ministers to the altar, of the deacon carrying the evangeliary or the book of Gospels to the ambo before the proclamation of the gospel, of the faithful presenting the gifts and coming forward to receive communion. It is appropriate that actions and procession of this sort be carried out with a decorum while the chants proper to them occur, in keeping with the norms prescribed for each.
So notice that these gestures, all these are very, very important. Okay, that takes place in the carrying the book of the Gospels, and then from the altar to the ambo. There's another procession there. Okay, and then you have the faithful presenting the gifts, coming forward to receive communion. All these are very important. All these are actions and processions, and must carry out with decorum actually. Very, very important. Very important. And that is why for us in SFA, I have told the hospitality ministers when they are guiding people for Holy Communion, okay, they don't use so much of movements of hands. For example, from the altar, it is improper to let the hospitality ministers. All these are not supposed to be. Like that. And then you go to a traffic warden. All these are improper gestures.
Yes.
The hospitality minister is supposed to be at the side of the minister who is giving Holy Communion to observe whether the person is consuming the body of Christ. Body of Christ. That is not the time of ushering people to Holy Communion. You don't usher, you usher them before the Mass actually. You usher them before the Mass. Holy Communion is not a time for ushering. They come in a dignified way to receive the body of Christ. Because I said to the ministers, hospital ministers, don't use your hands and all that, just remain where you are. Even if the other minister is not giving communion, never mind. The people will see and go to the person. You don't need to usher them here and here, because why? By doing so, you are losing your focus. You are losing your focus because why? You're not focusing what is happening. You're focusing on the people's movements actually. So these are important reminders actually. Important reminders. And then this is also very important. Number 16. If I'm not mistaken, number 16. Okay, can someone read number 16? This is very, very important paragraph, paragraph 60. Can someone read?
The reading of the Gospel is the high point of the liturgy of the Word.
The reading of the Gospel is the high point of the liturgy of the Word. Okay?
The liturgy itself teaches that great reverence is to be shown by setting it off from the other readings with special marks of honor.
With special marks of honor. There's another key words there. Continue.
Whether on the part of the minister appointed before David to profess himself by a blessing of bread, or on the part of the faithful who stand as they listen to it with bread and through their donations acknowledge and confess Christ present and speaking to them, or by very marks of reverence that are given to the book of the Gospel.
So these are very, very important reminders actually, especially the book of the Gospels. When the priest is about to proclaim the book of the Gospels, we stand. And the paragraph number 60 gives a very important reminder, the high point of the liturgy of the word. So when the priest is proclaiming the word of God, all of us by right should focus on at the elbow there. What is happening? That is not the time for you to take your Sunday missal and start reading. You don't do that. You don't do that unless you can't understand the language. Then it's understandable. You take your Sunday missal. Okay, you want to know what is happening. You want to know what is the reading. Then, okay, flexibility. But if you know the language, you're supposed to look what is happening at the elbow. That is why sometimes it is also improper for anyone to take up the Sunday missal and follow the gospel. Yes. 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 Yeah, this one I won't compromise because it's the book of the gospel. The word of God is being proclaimed. You're supposed to listen. You're supposed to listen. If at all that you want to read, you should have done it much earlier. Okay? So this is very, very important, a very important number because number 60 gives us what we should do actually. And by doing that, by listening to those words being proclaimed to us, it is a reverence that you are giving. Reverence. Even by the nature of you standing, it is a reverence that you are giving what is being proclaimed to you. So this is very, very important. Okay. And then number 194. 194. Can someone read 194?
In coming to the altar, where no deacon is present, the lector, wearing approved attire, may carry the book of the gospel, which is to be slightly elevated.
Okay. SFA, we practice this. Wearing approved attire. Of course, here it doesn't mention what the attire is. It doesn't mention that. Approved attire. So because why? You are proclaiming the word of God. The lectors, the readers, you are going to proclaim the word of God. So the external also reveals how much reverence you are going to give as you are going to proclaim the word of God. And that is why here in SFA, we have this guideline actually, and slightly elevated when they carry the book of the Gospels. Slightly elevated. Slightly elevated. This is not slightly elevated, this is highly elevated. Okay? Slightly elevated. And our book of the Gospels is quite heavy. Have you carried the book of the Gospels? No. One day you try to carry and see. Why it is heavy? Because there's a significance there. Not just because of the metal cover, because the Word of God is a heavy cross to bear. The Word of God is always challenging, always demanding. Okay? So, the Word of God has to be heavy there. It cannot be so easy, that you can practice whatever that is written there. So, it is heavy. But when I carry the book of the Gospels from the altar to the elbow, I carry it with joyfully. Because the Word of God actually. It's the Word of God. And that is why we have trained our lectors in such a way that what they carry is the Word of God, not just any story books or what. Okay. So it's very important. It's very important. And then in paragraph 133. The last paragraph there, the last line. Those present turn towards the elbow as a sign of special reverence to the gospel of Christ. It's written there. It is written in 133. Those present turn towards the elbow as a sign of special reverence to the gospel of Christ. And that is why when the word of God is being proclaimed, you must turn back to the elbow. Even if you are sitting at this corner, your movement must turn towards the direction where the word of God is being proclaimed. So we must train it. We must train actually. Practice make perfect. So we must train ourselves to know what is happening in our sacred liturgy. Okay? Sacred liturgy is very, very important. In GIRM number 306. Can someone read 306?
Only one is required for the celebration of the Mass in place of the answer of the altar, namely from the beginning of the celebration until the proclamation of the Gospel, the book of the Gospels, and from the presentation of the gifts until the purification of the vessels, the chalice invocation, the cerebrum, if necessary, and finally the corporal purificator for the soul.
Okay, so in the Latin rite which we are following, the altar is the principal center and focal point of the celebration, not the tabernacle. Remember this, In the Latin rite, the altar is the principal center and focal point of the celebration, and that is why in number 306, it should be reserved in a special way. And then we look, therefore, in the context of Mass, placing the book of the Gospels upon the altar is a sign of the highest veneration. That is why we keep the book of the Gospels on the altar. It's a sign of highest veneration. Okay? Even if some other books are there, it is not. But the book of the Gospels is a sign of the highest veneration. So that is why it's important that when we carry the book of the Gospel, it must be placed on the altar. Okay? It must be placed on the altar. Alright. Now, any questions, any clarifications?
During consecration of the when you say this is the body, will you look up or will you
What do you think? Why do you look up? Okay. And why don't you look up? You look up. Why don't you want to look up? If it is Jesus Christ.
because you find because once you have done that, then you look back again.
Yeah.
So you can't do that when you are doing it. So it is my understanding that when you do this, you have to look up. Same thing with the mind.
This is my personal understanding. Okay, don't misquote me. When the priest elevates the body of Christ or the blood of Christ, I believe it is the lay faithful should look up.
Yes.
No need to look down.
Yes.
No need to look down, because why? Jesus is present. When Jesus is present, why are we looking down? Why are we looking down? We have already been looked down by others. Why you want to do that? Look up and talk to Jesus. Talk to Jesus. That's the best time to talk to Him. Yeah. Talk to Him or pray to Him. Show your reverence. Even same goes to the chalice.
Yes.
Yeah.
After that, when you need, you look up.
Nothing there mentioned. If you want to do that, by all means you can do that also. Okay? Yes or no, there is no fast rule on that.
Okay, when you show, we put the hand to the head. Oh, yes.
That also nothing mentioned also. You see, a lot of things we have, I don't know where we have, all this understanding came from. But it's all good understanding, nothing wrong with that. But if you feel that you want to, put your hands down, fine. If you want to, I remember whenever I do the benediction, I see some people. Have you seen like that?
Yes.
I'm wondering whether they are surrendering to Jesus or whether they want some stigmata from him. But for me, I don't get disturbed. If that is how you want to express yourself, so be it. So be it. Hold the chalice. Behold the Lamb of God. You look up or you look down? I'm not, Lord, I'm not worthy. That prayer came from the gospel. If you take in the literal translation, the guy who asked for help from Jesus, he did not look down on himself. It is in the gospel there. He saw Jesus and asked for help. So why not we look up and say, Lord, I'm not worthy? Because the Lord knows us. Whether you look up or look down, the Lord knows you. The Lord knows me. Doesn't mean that when I look up that I'm not worthy. Whether I look up or whether I look down, I'm not worthy. Now don't get caught with all this looking up, looking down, looking side. Don't get caught all this. Side, okay. I'm worried the next question will be that. Doxology, come on! This one all I don't need to tell you you all know why. That's what the church tells us, the instruction that give due reverence. Whether you look up, whether you look down, you must give due reverence. That is important. Even when you go for the Holy Communion, you give due reverence. That's not the time. Hey, I have seen people like that. Hey, how are you? That's not the time for you to be and talk to your neighbor, That's not reverence. That's not reverence. You must give due reverence. Some
When
people.
they say, during Mass, from the day in the cemetery or the temple, there was the minimal, gestures. Do you agree with me?
Minimal gestures during the Mass.
Because all the gestures come from you, the priest.
Then what about the action of the lay faithful?
We focus on you.
No. Very important, don't focus on me. Get lost actually.
We focus there. Our focus is there.
You focus on the utilities.
Yes. Utilities. So, this time showing the
That is why the instruction has given a clear guideline, do's and don'ts. Okay. What the guideline is telling us, basically, please give due reverence when it comes to sacred liturgy. You notice that everything in this document talks about the Eucharist. That's all. It doesn't talk outside the Eucharist. It doesn't talk about devotion. It doesn't talk about any other matters. It talks about the Eucharist. That's all. From the beginning right to the end, it talks about that only. Okay. So what is important here is that in any actions that we carry out in the sacred liturgy, we must do it with reverence. Very important. Because we are dealing with sacredness. We are dealing with sacredness. Okay. That is why even when you enter into the church, the whole focus has to be there already. On the celebration of the Holy Eucharist. Even when you enter into the church and you trace yourself on the sign of the cross, as you make the sign of the cross, as you're tracing it, you don't talk to your neighbor. As you make the sign of the cross, hey, good morning to you, how are you? Long time no see, you don't do all that. You can do it all after Mass actually. You have plenty of time to do that. But that is a sacred moment. So you give best to God. Best to God. So these are few things just to for us to recap. You know all this stuff actually. It's just to recap, that's all. Just to recap.
One more friend.
Yeah.
During the eye contact,
I confess.
they say to you, my brothers and sisters, I see people looking at this and decide. Why to my brothers and sisters? Why this? I've seen that in SFA.
Okay, when I look at you, do you get disturbed or not?
No, I said, am I doing wrong or is the other
That's
person
why I
right?
said it's not whether you are doing right or wrong. It's improper. That's all.
Yes.
I wouldn't say wrong. I would call it improper. Okay. That time of Manickam life is for you actually.
Yes. For yourself.
Yes. So you don't need to look brothers and sisters and uncles and aunties. Hey. That's why I said, don't read everything that you find in the internet. Okay? Don't fish it up. Oh, this is the way it should be. Because this guy is a Catholic guy. He's a theologian. Okay, I better follow. If not, I go to hell. Don't all this.
It's not ridiculous. What I observe, I see.
Yes, that sometimes sentiments. People are also, they have emotions, sentiments and all that. So they want to do that. If you want to see me, it's okay, I will just speak at you only. So no need to worry on that. Yeah.
My prayer most effective when I'm emotional or unemotional.
This one I can answer. Only God can answer your prayer. Whether you are emotional or whether you are not emotional, a prayer is a prayer. Okay? A real prayer is a prayer when you bring all your emotions, the good and even your weaknesses and so on. Okay, so that will be a true prayer, a real prayer. Alright. Okay, so we don't need to worry about all that because when you pray, God knows actually. There is no yardstick to measure whether I am praying the right way or whether I am praying the wrong way, whether God will listen to me when I am emotional, or whether God will not listen to me when I am not emotional. No, there's no yardstick on that. I remember what the famous Benedictine monk once said for the Thomas Keating. He says, the only time that you can fail in prayer is when you don't show up. The only time that you can fail in prayer is when you don't show up. That's it. Beautiful definition. Okay. So whatever that happens in your life, we all go through some kind of roller coaster, but we still show up in prayer. That is prayer. Okay?
I don't want to question, Father.
Okay.
Apart from the book of gospel that we read, we say we shouldn't follow the missal. What about the proclaimers when they're reading also we listen, not need to follow our missal?
Now the readers,
The
the readers
readers.
must listen also. It's apply for all.
Can we follow the missal?
No,
Also must listen. Okay.
You mean the readings are? Actually, the attitude here is listening. It's listening, yes.
So we
Unless you are going for different language masses, you don't understand the language, then you can have your Sunday missal. But if you can, you must listen. Yeah. But sometimes I also have the habit to read my Sunday missal because sometimes I'm afraid whether the reading will be done correctly, and sometimes even if it's not correct, I tend to keep quiet because I don't want to. Sometimes when you go and tell the person, the reader, she will get or he will get panic or what, embarrassed or what. So let it be still the word of God. But of course, that should not happen in the sacred liturgy, especially on Sunday masses. It should not happen. Must be well prepared before taking up the reading. Yes. Anything else? That's all. Okay. Well, lots of questions. I think another day I just have some question and answer sessions. Yeah.
Nowadays, when the priest homily.
Homily. Okay.
Slang, some is short.
Okay. Don't quote me anything.
No, I told you.
Okay.
Yours sometimes really or sometimes. But I don't like you apologizing later, it's wrong. Why should you apologize?
I wish all of you can have that kind of spirit. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Any other?
Yeah.
This is the body and this is the blood.
bread and the wine.
Ah.
Okay, and when the communion minister and the priest give Holy Communion, can he consider the bread as the body and blood?
Of course.
Yes.
You see, the consecration takes place at the Mass. When the priest calls upon the Holy Spirit. The word they use is very big word. Transubstantiation. I don't know what is that also actually. But it is just like this, that when the priest, prays over the gifts, invoking the Spirit, it has become the body and blood of Jesus. Yes, that's all. Yeah. No more the bread, no more the wine. And that's where our faith is. That's very important. And that is why the ringing of the bell should take place at the invocation of the Spirit. Because that is a very important moment. Very important moment. Bread becoming body, wine becoming blood. No. Bread becoming the body of Christ. The wine becoming the blood of Christ. No wine now. Where can consecrate together? We are normally doing bread and wine. I still can't get your question clear. You must be very clear when you ask question.
What I'm trying to say is, the bread is
When the bread
without the species of the wine.
cannot. How can we celebrate the Eucharist without the wine?
No, I don't mean without the wine. I mean when you consider
You are confusing. I'm also getting confused here. Yeah. Don't come up with complex question. Because very complex question you're asking. You are saying, when I consecrate the body, the bread and the wine is not there.
no. The wine is together. But what I'm saying is,
Together.
when you consider the bread is now, if the bread becomes the body and blood together. Even though you have consecrated the wine,
The Eucharist, we don't do that.
Two species.
Always we consecrate the bread and then we consecrate the wine. Unless you're going to different rites somewhere, then you may have this kind of confusion. In the Catholic Church, we will do the bread and then we will do the wine. It's always like that. Consecrating together, he's saying. Now giving Holy Communion. The body of Christ only. No, not the body and blood of Christ. The body of Christ. Only when we have the blood of Christ, then only we will say the body and the blood of Christ. Yes. When?
Why are you giving us responses?
You are giving another different. It's okay. Yeah. But you see, when you consume the body of Christ, of course, the blood of Christ is there already. Yeah. As long as you receive the body of Christ,
you got blood inside.
faith tells us that. Okay. In special masses, we give two species. Okay. In special masses, we give two species. Of course, you go to different Christian denomination, they also have. But then, for them, it's just a memorial only. It's not the real symbol only. It's only a symbol. It's not the real presence. Okay, only in the Catholic Church, we believe in the real presence of Jesus, of the blood, and the body. Okay? Alright. So, I think it's almost going to be 12. Okay? I hope these little last, okay. Communion.
There are many ways of receiving like palm over this and then some putting in the mouth, some which is the correct way
Okay, now that is not found in any of the documents, but there's one written by one early church fathers. Who is that, the early church fathers? I remember we used to project it in SFA. It's supposed to be a left. John Chrysostom, is it? Yeah. You make the throne for the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. A throne, you make a throne. Okay? And then you go to the side, you use your right finger and consume it. This way is not proper. That is like talan, you know. You're supposed to take the body of Christ and consume it. Make a throne for the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Make a throne. Okay? Of course, you can also receive in hands, in tongues.
And John said, he is in Western culture, Asian culture, receiving in the lab.
Tell me, whether you receive in tongue, whether you receive in hand, left over hand or what, the very important question that we must ask ourselves, are we in the state of grace?
Yes.
What is the point if I just receive in my right heart, I'm not in the state of grace? What is the point for that? See, sometimes this is where we all want Asian, Western, but what is my inner disposition? My inner disposition. Some say shouldn't receive in hands, should only receive in tongue. But most of our sin are committed tongue. That's what St. James says in this episode. The tongue says we are poison. So I think all these are very sentimental for me, the way people. But the proper action would be that take a throne. But this is not found in any of the documents, but it is written by a church father. By a church father. I don't have the slide to show you. But if you go to our SFA, we have now Facebook now. So in the SFA Facebook, I will put the quotation there. Okay, you can go and look it up and know yourself. If I'm not mistaken, it's a John Chrysostom, I think. That's a John Chrysostom. Okay, one of the early church fathers. He said that make a throne for the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Okay, but not and not also taking from the lay minister, hijacking Jesus. Not just when I'm giving her someone to want to like pull. No, that's not proper also. Not proper. Yes, that's right. It has to be relevant and make sure that there are no particles inside on the palm. Very important. Sometimes people forget, when they receive in hands, they just consume and move on. But still any particles at all. The fragments, the fragments. Yes, you must consume it. Yes. Yeah. So these are all some practicals. Okay, we will put it in our Facebook so that you will understand what I'm saying here, and also that these are not my words, but it is taken from the early church fathers. Okay, which is also important for us to know so that you will understand why are we doing this. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your time, for coming for this formation. So before you leave, we will say the closing prayer. Hopefully next time we will meet again on different aspects of the Holy Mass. And then I will tell you, share with you, we can get same group coming because you are into this formation. I can also invite others to come. I will talk to you about Rosary. Whether can we say the Rosary during the Eucharistic adoration or not?
No.
Very wrong. Who said so? Cannot say Rosary. I will tell you why. Come for the next formation. Because why? These are not my words. These are the words of the... You can pray the Holy Rosary during the Holy Hour. You can do that. You can do that. Because why? Because why? Tell me why. Because we are reflecting on the mysteries of Christ.
Yes.
Mysteries of Christ. No need to ask sorry lah, please. We are learning. You and me, we are all learning. Okay, no one is expert here. Okay. But we can say, I tell you why we can say. Because why? John Paul II has recommended to use the rosary during the holy hour. Okay? But we must not use the rosary, just take out the monstrance, put in the holy hour and say the rosary. We cannot do that. There the church document is very clear. And the church document does not allow us to say the rosary, just bringing on the monstrance and sit down and pray the rosary. We don't do that. We must have liturgy of the word, prayers, and the rosary. You can. It is possible. It is. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. As we come to conclude this formation, we ask Mary, our Mother, in case of all of us, we ask Mary, our Mother, to guide us, to inspire us, to help us to walk in our journey of faith. And we pray that she will continue to protect us from all harm, from all dangers, and from all evil. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and in the hour of our death. Amen. Mary, help of all Christians.
Pray for us.
The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
The Almighty God bless you and your family, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Thank you and have a pleasant day.
Thank you.
Holy Eucharist. This is what the Cardinal says. Mass is not the time to exercise personal preference or taste. Okay, this is what the Cardinal says. Right? Mass or the Eucharist is not the time to exercise personal preference or taste. So, when you were asking this and that, whether we should bow, whether we should wait until the priest takes his seat and all that, we don't find that all in these instructions. Okay? In the net, there are many who are giving many kind of commentaries. Okay? But you must be very, very careful. You must use selective choosing. Okay, selective choosing which document would be appropriate for you to read, to understand. Don't read everything that is written in the net. Okay? At the same time, you must go through this general instruction of the Roman Missal, because this is one document that will tell us what we should do and what we should not. Okay, so this is a very good instruction, I would say. If it is not written in this instruction, so you need not follow actually. For example, like someone mentioned to me during the coffee break, whether are we supposed to bow when the priest goes up to the altar? Whether are we supposed to make a bow when the priest bows? Not necessary. What is written very clear. The priests and the ministers, that's all. Make a profound bow. That's all. What you are hearing, what you are taking from others is all added. So no need actually, no need. If it is not there, it is not there. Because why? This is the official document. Official instruction of the church. Now this is very, very important for your understanding. Because sometimes when you go for some kind of especially for new converts, you may go for RCIA instruction and all that, and then you hear something new and you may think that it may be something that you need to do. But it is always good to check it out. With someone who is well versed in the Roman rites or the general instruction. Okay? So it's very important to always check it out before carrying it out. Because sometimes I may have my own preference. But when it comes to the celebration of the Eucharist, we put aside all our own preferences. Okay, we put aside. Like, you were saying that the Hail Mary, prayer of the faithful, that's not supposed to be the time to say the Hail Mary. Maybe yes, you are very close to Mother Mary. Doesn't mean when I don't say the Hail Mary, I'm not close to Mother Mary. Okay. So we have all the guidelines that has been given here actually. So what you are doing or what you are seeing could be added from somewhere else. Okay? Alright? Now, this is very important. For example, I give you another greater uniformity. I'm just talking about greater uniformity. But how are we going to implement this? It depends on the parish priest, it depends on the bishop, it depends even in the conference of bishops, okay, for them to take up and make a decision. Now, for example, hand gestures, okay. Now, at one time, the priest, few times the priest is required to extend his hands. The Lord be with you, okay. And then, at other times, the priest's hand should remain firmly closed. Firmly closed. Now, for example, the gospel proclamation, the Lord be with you. I'm sure that you must have seen some priests are saying with open hand gestures, the Lord be with you. Is it proper or not proper? Now, what is your feedback before we look at the documents? Proper. The Lord be with you before the gospel. I'm not saying the opening right. Who's talking? The priest is talking. So, he cannot talk with you without opening. He has to open his hands, is it? Now, GIRM stated very clearly in 134. Can someone read? I'm not just talking about the laity, I'm also talking about the priest, because I am a priest, okay? At times I also do make mistakes. But when I make mistakes, not many are aware of it. Unless you've gone for some formations, then you can't, you can hide your mistakes, okay? Now, 134 GIRM, can someone read?
At the elbow, the priest opens the book and with hands joined says, "The Lord be with you."
Domino, what we scope? The Lord be with you. Wait,
And the people
wait,
respond.
wait. Hands joined. That's very important. That's important. With hands joined. The priest cannot say, "The Lord be with you." Now, when you see your parish priest doing this, Father Andrew said you're not supposed to come here. Please, I am saying this what is written here only. Don't misquote me. Okay. Then you have to ask those who have come up with this book. You're asking the wrong person. Okay. Now the thing is, I am giving as what it is written here in GIR. If you ask me why, then I need to go back to Rome and ask them. Okay? So,
What about the response? The laity.
and with your spirit. Now, the laity does not mention anything about that. Whether you want to carry your hands, it's up to you. Okay? So, this is important. Okay? This is important. So, sometimes we see this kind of improper takes place in the Mass. Okay? But those who are celebrating according to the Latin rite, Latin rite is us actually. The greetings is said with hands closed. Hands closed. Okay? Now, at the same time, in the general instruction, it is also clearly stated that during the opening prayer, the Eucharistic prayer, the rite of peace, and the concluding rite, all these can be open hands. Okay? Opening prayer. Okay? The hand position. The hand position is also clearly given for the opening prayer, the Eucharistic prayer, the rite of peace, and the concluding rite. Okay? But sometimes, sometimes I can be very stubborn that I employ my own preferences. I am very stubborn. Okay, I'm not saying anyone here. I can be very stubborn. I can choose my own preferences. Now, but of course, it is not proper. Okay, so we have to put aside all these what we call our own preferences. The GIRM does give good reasons for the priest to share the peace with the few of the faithful. But in normal circumstances, the priest should always remain within the sanctuary. Remember the sign of the peace? Can the priest go around and wish all the permanent ministers peace, 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 move around everywhere and then waving his hands from here to the choir lock? It's not a drama here, okay? But if he is celebrating Mass not in the church, but in different pastoral circumstances, it is allowed. That is why the GRM is not a kind of very rigid laws. If anything that is happening in the church, we follow. If I'm celebrating the Mass in the gym, for example, in the gym, okay, exceptional pastoral circumstances, it can be, you can't go around and shake hands because it is not in the Mass, it's not in the church. Okay, for example, ME, choice, and all that. So the GRM allows here and there some flexibility. Okay, but when it comes to the church, then we have to remain faithful. And that is why even in the cross and the risen Christ, okay, you will see, I don't know, most of the churches we have the image of the crucifix, okay? But you go to some chapels, or even if you come to our own chapel, our own Friary chapel, you won't find a cross there. You will see a risen Christ there. Is it proper? Whether chapel or whether it's a church, can we replace the cross or the crucifix with the image of risen Christ? Cannot. So what we have that is something is not right. Nobody has donated a cross for us. So we put the risen Christ there. Okay, that's an excuse. Alright. Now GIRM 308. Can someone read please? 308. Okay, so the cross or the image of the crucified Savior is important because it reminds the faithful the saving passion of the Lord, the passion, the death of our Lord Jesus Christ. And that is why we have the cross, the crucifix. It cannot be replaced with any other image. You cannot remove the image of the crucified Christ and put the image of the divine mercy there. Cannot. It's very clearly stated in GIRM. Okay. Now, another few things that I need to share with you is this: that when it comes for homily, okay, homily. Can the homily be a time to raise fund for something charity? Was that very clear? Okay. So no one can use the embo, the pulpit, to go up and say something beside the breaking of the word of God. Okay. Now GIRM is very clear on this. that you cannot use the time of homily to talk about raising fund. Raising fund. The church need 2.2 million. I can't use that and appeal fund during the part of that moment. You take GIRM 65 and 66. It's clearly stated there. GIRM 65 and 66. Can someone read? Instead, I didn't prepare my homily, just for say, I didn't prepare homily. I called the building chairman. Can you please speak on behalf of me, since I did not prepare my homily? Can you go up and talk something about the church building? Now, what GRM says on that, 65 and 66?
The homily is part of the liturgy and is strongly recommended, for it is necessary for the nurturing of the Christian life. It should be an exposition of some aspect of the readings from the sacred scripture or of another text from the ordinary or from the proper of the Mass of the day, and should take into account both the mystery being celebrated and the particular needs of the listeners.
Continue.
The homily should ordinarily be given by the priest celebrant himself. He may entrust it to a concelebrating priest or occasionally, according to circumstances, to the deacon, but never to a lay person. In particular cases, and for a just cause, the homily may be given by a bishop or a priest who is present at the celebration but cannot celebrate.
Okay, so it's very clear. In number 66, in number 66. 2 weeks ago, I celebrated Mass with the Myanmarese community. Now, the Myanmarese community, they can't speak English. What shall I do when it comes to homily? GRM says never to a lay person. If they can't understand Bahasa, no homily. Somebody read that language. Okay. I think that's the right answer. Again, you see, sometimes this is where, it's very difficult when it comes to pastoral judgment. GRM says 65, 66 cannot. Okay. I have a congregation who hardly understand English. I'm celebrating the Mass in English, they're responding in their language. But when it comes to homily, who does it? I speak in English. The only possible way I can think of is to get a translator. That's all. What I preach, we translate. That's all we can do. Of course, in some circumstances, we also have lay faithful going up to the pulpit and giving a preaching, especially when the priest does not know the language. So here, it's very delicate, I would say, very delicate. Very delicate. If I'm not able to speak in that language, can I or can I not to allow someone to speak on behalf of me? So it's a very pastoral judgment here, I would call it, pastoral judgment. Okay? Or even for a person who's not able to proclaim the gospel in his language or in a different language. Can a lay person go up and read the gospel? Of course, in the document it is written cannot. It's either the deacon or the priest. But if I can't read the language, how? So if a lay person goes up and read the gospel, the Mass becomes valid or invalid? Invalid. Mass is okay, thank God. Yeah, so this is a practical issues we come across. pastoral issues that we come across. Okay? Yes.
This Christian, he can get Jesus Christ. Although he taught his disciples, when he talked to the public, he himself told everything. He didn't say to the disciples to tell to the public. He himself, when the people were there, he taught himself.
Okay.
Both on the boat as well as on the shores.
Okay. Yes. But today we are dealing with different nationalities, people, and so on. Jesus would have spoken in Aramaic, okay, congregation. He knew his audience. But here we are talking about complexity of situation. So it's important to use pastoral judgments here. Okay. So this is also another important area that we should know. Okay. Now, let me tell you this. The Eucharistic liturgy is the gift from God to His church. And as such, no one is permitted, including the priest, celebrant, to add, remove, or change anything in the celebration of the Mass. GIRM number 24. Can someone read GIRM number 24? Okay, so this is very clear. The GRM given the instruction that no priest can do any changes or remove or add anything on his own initiative. Cannot. Because this is the action of the whole assembly, not just the priest. Okay? So this is very, very important for the priest himself to, if there are any changes, it has to be done through the bishops. Okay? Now, so this is important. And now let us move on to the tabernacle now. 274. I'm highlighting few important paragraphs so that you will know. 274. Can someone read paragraph 274?
The reflection made by bending the right knee to the ground signifies adoration, and therefore it is reserved for the most blessed sacrament, as well as for the holy cross of the solemn adoration during the liturgical celebration of Good Friday until the beginning of the Easter ritual. During Mass, three benedictions are made by the priest celebrant, indeed after showing the host, after the showing of the chalice, and before communion.
So this one all I think you know, okay? It's not difficult to understand, you know, okay? On the part of the priest and also on the part of the lay faithful. Now, the next paragraph, if, however, the tabernacle with the most blessed sacrament is present in the sanctuary, the priest, the deacon, and the other ministers genuflect when they approach the altar, and when they depart from it, but not during the celebration of Mass itself. You understand this paragraph?
Yes.
What do you understand? Imelda?
When they approach the altar, and when they depart from it, but not during the celebration of the Mass itself. This is only God can celebrate authentic.
If, however, the tabernacle with the most blessed sacrament is present in the sanctuary, which you have in Holy Family, okay? The tabernacle is there. The priest, the deacon, and other ministers genuflect when they approach the altar and when they depart from it, but not during the celebration of Mass itself. What do you understand by this? You notice that some churches, when they approach the altar, the priest and the ministers, they genuflect. Some make profound bow. Remember that? Okay? But not during the Mass. During the Mass, you bow to where? Altar, not to the tabernacle. Yes, because the altar becomes the supreme importance. Because the sacrifice is going to take place there. So each time when you pass by the altar, crossing the altar, it's not to the tabernacle that you must bow. It's to the altar. That's very important. Especially this is for the altar boys and all the other ministers. Okay, who are serving during the Mass. Okay, so this is a very, very important point. Okay, now let me go on. Number 158. I am skipping here and there so that I'm just trying to highlight few important paragraphs. Okay, 158. Can someone read 158? Or you can go to paragraph 160. The faithful are not permitted to take the consecrated bread or the sacred chalice by themselves, and still less to hand them from one to another. The faithful communicate either kneeling or standing. When they communicate standing, however, it is recommended that they make an appropriate sign of reverence as determined in the same norms before receiving the sacraments. So what it is written here, that the lay faithful cannot just take the post by themselves. Even the communion ministers, it has to be given to them. Okay, given to them. And remember that it is also stated that they must make the vow. Okay. Yeah. So this is very important. No one can go and take the host for himself or herself. Cannot. It has to be given to them. The body of Christ, the blood of Christ, the body of Christ. If you are a communion minister, anyone who's communion minister here, it's not body of Christ. The body of Christ, the blood of Christ. Okay, body of Christ. Body of Christ. Not like that, lah. Come like now. Don't do all this. You are a communion minister. Reverence. Reverence is important. The body of Christ, the blood of Christ. If we are given the both species, the body and blood of Christ. Okay, not just the body of Christ, the body and the blood of Christ. Okay, so this is very important, very important. Okay, and if you are a minister serving in this ministry, okay.
That's why you give the ministers the Holy Communion first, and then they give.
Yes, yes.
They can't take it themselves.
Cannot.
Oh, okay.
Cannot. Why? You see someone taking. I'm getting scared, you see. I don't even confront anyone. Okay. Alright. That is why the ministers, whoever it is, whether the clergy or the lay ministers, may not add anything to the words of communion. The body and blood of Christ, James. The body and blood of Christ, Mary. All these are, please don't do all this. Don't call by name. No naming and all that. And these are not my words, please read number 41. Number 41. 43 better. It's somewhere there, but it's 41. Never mind. You read it, okay? It may not be the exact number, but it is there somewhere. There is no naming and all that when it comes to the receiving of the body of Christ. Okay, we should not call anyone by his or her name. Okay. Now, number 39 also speaks about the extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion. Okay. I think I got it wrong. No. Never mind. I think I got it wrong. It's not that number. Okay, not that paragraph. But you have to look at the paragraph coming from 265 onwards. Okay. 265 onwards, you have the paragraph on the liturgy of the Eucharist. It is there. So what I'm saying is that these are things that you and I need to be cautioned. Okay. For example, the other thing that you need to know also, when you have a deacon in your parish, okay, the deacon is the one who announces from the ambo the prayer of the faithful. When the deacon is there, prayer of the faithful, when the deacon is there on serving at the Mass, it is the deacon's role to say or to introduce the prayer of the faithful, or to say the prayer of the faithful, to announce the prayer of the faithful. If I'm not mistaken, it is in paragraph 197. Okay? So this is something new that I'm learning actually. Yeah, because as I was preparing for this, all this time I thought the deacon would just go up and proclaim the gospel, and then at the end he will say, "Go in peace." Okay, but there's something new that I discovered in paragraph 197. When no deacon is present, the lector, after the introduction by the priest, may announce from the emperor the intentions of the prayer of the faithful. But if there is a deacon, then it is the deacon's role actually. It is the deacon's role to announce the prayer of the faithful. Okay, so this is for your general knowledge. Okay, for general knowledge. Okay, let's move on. Yeah. This is a very this question I thought you will come. I don't want to talk about this, but since you brought it out, then we have to talk. Holding hands at the Our Father. What say you?
No.
Oh, you all are very stern, huh? So if I hold hand, means what happens? If I hold my hand of my son or daughter, what happens? Our Father is not valid. What do you think?
No uniformity.
No uniformity. Now this is something very tricky, because why? It does not GIRM. It's very silent about this. I think the council fathers are aware of this. It does not mention anything about whether it should hold hands or whether it should not. Let me read to you number 81 of the paragraph 81. Okay, it's there, holding what the Our Father. Okay, it does not mention anything about holding hands. Whether you want to raise your hands, whether you want to hold someone's hands, it does not say anything about it. Okay? Paragraph 81. Can someone read that paragraph?
The Lord's Prayer, when petition is made for daily food, so that what is holy may affect even those who are holy. The priest says immediately the prayer, and all the faithful say the name. The priest alone adds the embolism, which the people conclude with the doxology. The embolism, enlarging upon the last petition of the Lord's Prayer, brings deliverance from the power of evil for the entire community of the faithful. The invocation, the prayer itself, the embolism, and the doxology by which the people conclude these things are sung or said aloud.
Okay, you notice that it does not mention anything about holding of hands. Okay. Now some would say that holding of hands was introduced with good intentions. With good intentions to highlight what? Unity of the congregation. As they pray, our Father and not my Father. Okay, the unity of the congregation. Yet if unity is the key, then should we not be holding hands throughout the Mass? What do you think?
Father, let me clarify to you.
Okay.
Because this is the other denominations practice.
Okay.
Because they don't have a priest. We have a priest to focus on. Okay, so we do not have one foot of hand or joint hands. Further than nothing, so they have to hold hands. So that they look up other denominations. So when we start holding hands or tree, we are actually losing the focus of the priest which is done there. So that's my interpretation.
So what is saying that it's okay to hold hands? No, it's not okay. It's not okay to hold.
That's the priest says. Because I remember one.
Please won't say, don't worry. They will be trouble to say that.
Whether in recipe, there was one visiting priest say that.
Let's hold our hands.
The priest said, he said the thing was family.
Okay.
So he said, let's hold hands. But if we come from the priest, of course it's a representative of Jesus. So we all hold hands. I don't think that part is wrong. But generally, it is actually other the Protestant churches, gestures. It's not our gestures.
Okay, so you notice that it is GIRM does not speak anything about holding hands. Okay, but accordingly, it is not proper to hold hands during the Our Father. Okay, the Our Father. I will give you this handout so that you will understand why it is not proper. I leave this on this subject of holding hands. I will leave this handout for you all, so that you will understand why we should not hold hands. You will understand because why? It's coming from Rome actually. This is one of the well-known liturgies for the Edward McNamara, okay, who writes about all the liturgical questions and so on. Okay, so he will explain to you why we should not hold hands during the Lord's Prayer. Yeah.
But still on the Lord's Prayer, I see a lot of people holding up their hands. Sometimes I also do the same thing. Is it okay or not okay?
If it is okay for you, it is okay. That is why, yeah. That is why, you see, we don't find all that in GIRM. It doesn't spell out whether we should bow or we should look up or whether I should look at my neighbor. Nothing is mentioned. But let us not get caught up. Let us not get caught up in all this. That's more important, because if you put up with all this, your worshipping will be become very meticulous of every little details, and you lose the spirit of liturgy.
Isn't that what you want?
I want. I want. It's for the church teachers. Okay. That is why I'm saying greater uniformity is not under my power to bring all this. Okay, it's the conference of bishops together with the priests and all that. Yeah.
I would like to say, not only on this raising up of the hands,
Yeah.
I think it's because of the charismatic movement, when they have their son, they always hold hands, they from that we started when the priest said, the Lord be with you, and then the people, and also with you. The priest said that. Why? Why can't they just join hands and just say and be and with your spirit, something like that?
Okay.
I want that, and everything when the priest said the Lord be with you, they raise up their hand. Our mother also raised up their hands. When you say this is the body of Christ, when we come to front, also their hands go up. Why? I don't know. I think they just look at the pose.
Very difficult to answer this kind of questions because these are all personal belief or personal conviction. I do not know. Okay? But honestly, sister, whether you hold your hands up, whether you hold your hands down, honestly for me, I don't get disturbed at all. I don't get disturbed at all. You get disturbed. That means you lose focus of your. Never mind. That question is great. Its own belief. Don't get disturbed because of all this. I tell this to my people. No, I cannot say whether it's right or wrong because somebody is doing all this videoing and I get a lot of comments after that. No, not. Silence is important. Now, what I'm saying here is that whether they want to raise hands or whether they want to, close hands, it's their personal belief. But what I'm saying here is this: the GIRM doesn't spell out all this. Doesn't spell out. But of course, the church, in its own wisdom, says that holding hands is not proper during the Lord's Prayer. I will give you the handout because the handout is quite long, lengthy. You must read it for yourself and you will understand. Okay? I will not bring it out here. Yes, someone was, yeah.
The GIRM being general instruction. Now, essentially, the rubric is not in the GIRM.
Yeah.
The rubric is separate. But isn't it in the rubric actually states that the one's posture during the Lord's Prayer is only reserved for priests,
Yes.
not congregation.
Yes. The rubric is stated there. Yes. Even in the rubrics, most of the rubrics is for the priest for the action of the priest actually. Okay, it does not spell out many rubrics for the laity. What GIRM brings is for all actually, for the priest as well as for the lay. So it's important that we understand this. But of course, even after going through lots of formation, you will see still people holding hands during the Lord's Prayer. But honestly, as a priest, I don't get disturbed. I don't want to get disturbed also. Because why? It's a time for me to worship. I don't want to see my neighbor and getting upset about it that he or she is not doing the proper way. Please, please. He or she is not doing the proper way. Of course, you feel sad. Hopefully that they could come for the formation. Okay? And then, things change. Yeah.
But then another thing is, when the priest said, let us offer each other the sign of peace.
Sign of peace.
Okay, if they are husband and wife, still they'll kiss each other. So said, so you kiss your wife, then on your left, will you kiss the person? So, Father Leonard Saxon said, no kissing. That's why peace be with you, peace be with you, peace be with you. Is that correct or wrong?
I don't answer the question. You're very smart, you. You want to put a head-on collision. I don't have any head-on collision with anyone. Of course, you use your pastoral prudence. Pastoral prudence. But because in some Western countries, it is a norm to kiss their spouse. It is allowed, but not maybe in our ancient context. For us Indian, husband want to kiss, so difficult. You think they were doing it in front of the church. Won't do it, don't worry. To hold hands together, so they can't. What more? So anyway, it depends on the cultural also actually.
We follow Saint Augustine in all charity.
All charity. Good. So we don't get hooked on with all this. Okay? But this is what the general instructions is. It's good that we read it, okay, and understand. So I will give this handout. And pass it to you so that you will understand about holding hands at the Our Father. You see, anything that is not coming from the high authority, I think I can't say whether it is right or whether it is wrong because it's not been endorsed yet. If it comes from the high authority, then you and I must follow. But general instruction has already given quite a number of instructions for us to follow. I think that is good enough, really. That is good enough. We did not have another, 10, 20 instructions to come. Then the whole liturgical study becomes very rigid, and then we lose the spirit of the liturgy. Actually, don't lose the spirit of the liturgy. Very important. That is why in SFA there is some kind of flexibility. We try to follow the norms of the liturgy, but we also have some elements of flexibility. Yes.
The origin of this Lord's Prayer was actually by St. John the Baptist because he was touched by the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
And that is why people ask, please teach us how to pray. Like the way St. John's people are praying. Now God used the same Holy Spirit's prayer in our Lord's Prayer. And at that time he didn't say anything about touching each other or kissing or anything like that. He just said, Our Father, and he started off.
A lot of things Jesus didn't say. Okay, but we have in the church's documents and so on. Okay, but remember that Jesus, one prayer that has been recorded in the Gospels is the Lord's Prayer. That is why we always say the Lord's Prayer. The Lord's Prayer is because Jesus himself took the time to 5312. WPB 5312. Anyone? Our reverence, okay, especially to the celebration of the Eucharist, of the Holy Mass. But this is important. This is where practicality comes. Actually, all these are theory input, but the real practical comes when we go for masses. Yeah, how much reverence we are going to exercise in our own personal life. So this is very, very important. Greater reverence. Now, St. John Paul II reminds that the priests who faithfully celebrate Mass according to the liturgical norms or instructions, and communities that conform to these norms quietly but eloquently demonstrate their love for the church. Now, this is what St. John Paul II reminds the priests actually. That means if we truly love the church, we have to demonstrate it. And how do we demonstrate it? Through the celebration of the Mass, the liturgical celebrations. There has to be kind of uniformity actually. SFA does something different. Holy Family does something different. Sacred Heart does something different. So you see, there might be some various differences, but what is important is that normally the Eucharist, when you celebrate the Eucharist, it is the same actually. It is the same. Okay? So we also demonstrate our love for the church. These are the words of St. John Paul II. Now, liturgy is the participation of the people of God in the work of God. Okay? Because liturgy is not just one man show or one person show. It is the communal participation. This is very important. And it's also in the Catechism of the Catholic Church. You have that in 1069. Okay. Now, since the Mass, the highest form of prayer, highest form of prayer. It is a gathering of the community. It stands to reason that ceremonies and rituals have developed over the years to set our Sunday gatherings apart from other kinds of assemblies. That is why the Sunday liturgy is important. It is important. Okay? And it is different than all the other kinds of assemblies that we may have. Okay? When I say other kinds of assemblies, it may be outside the liturgy. Outside the liturgy. Okay? And for example, like you may have novena, devotions and all that. Okay? That is all devotional piety. Okay? But when it comes to Sunday liturgy, it's something important. Far more important than any other assemblies that we may have. Remember, the early church, when they gathered for the Eucharist, it is an assembly they call. Assembly. They don't coin the term church. Okay, the early Christians, the word they use is assembly. Assembly. So this is very important. Very, very important. Because every time we gather, it is an assembly that gathers. It is an assembly that gathers. Okay, so this is important, and that's how the church grew from the early Christians. Okay. Now let's go straight to the some important things here that I wanted to share with you. GIRM. I'm sure that you know what it stands for. Okay, and then we have the lectionary for Mass, what we used to call the sacramentary. Okay, you know what is sacramentary? Please come in here. Sacramentary. We have lectionary, we have sacramentary. What is lectionary? Anyone? Lectionary. The readings. The readers go up and proclaim the word of God. We have the lectionary. Sacramentary. The rubrics, okay, the prayers. This is used by the priest. But now we call it what? What else?
Roman Missal.
The Roman Missal. Okay. Okay. So now we call it that. We don't call it as sacramentary because the whole book has gone through a tremendous change. Okay. So when the priest uses the book, it is known as the Roman Missal. Okay. So we have that. Now, just to give you a little history about this Roman Missal. The first edition was published in 1969. Then it came in 1970. Okay, in 1970. And then, you see, this is not something new. This is not something new. When we talk about GIRM, it goes for some kind of changes. Not once, not twice, but even more than that actually. So the first edition of GIRM was published in 1969. Okay, and then it was issued in 1970 actually. And then the second edition went on in 1975. The second edition, 1975. And then the third edition was promulgated on the year 2000. And then the latest one that we have is 2002. So you see how the changes that has taken place. Of course, in 2000 it was John Paul II who wanted to bring more renewal in the celebration of the Holy Eucharist. So we have that. And that is why all these changes that we see from 1969, 1975, the year 2000, this is what it means. The fathers of the Second Vatican Council realized that there is a need for ongoing change in the liturgy. There is a need. Where necessary, the rites should be carefully revised in light of sound tradition, that they be given new vigor to meet the circumstances and the needs of modern times. Now, this is taken from the Constitution on the Sacred Liturgy. When you hear the word the Fathers of the Second Vatican Council, we're talking about the Second Vatican Council Fathers that took place in the life of the church. So they decided that there should be ongoing change. Ongoing change. Ongoing change. Where necessary, the rites should be carefully revised. At one time, you remember that we carried the lectionary during our Sunday liturgy. You remember that? Don't forget the old life. And we remember the readers were carried the what? Lectionary. Okay. And then now the readers are carrying what? The book of the Gospels. You see, changes. At one time, you notice that the EMHC. You know what is EMHC? We used to call them communion ministers. Now it's extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion. Changes. Why? As what is written in this document called Constitution on the Sacred Liturgy. They revise. I do not know, from 5 years down the line, you will come new changes. You may never know. Maybe we will be facing the crucifix already, no more facing the people. I do not know. I'm just guessing. Okay, all right. So there are some changes taking place, and I'm sure you are aware of it. Okay. So these changes are good. Now sometimes we may question why these changes and so on. Okay. Now I'm sure when they decided to bring these changes and renewal in the sacred liturgy, I'm sure it is the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. No one suddenly gets up from the sleep. Okay, I want to bring this change. Nobody does that actually. If you want to bring some changes, it has to be the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. So we don't question the movement of the Spirit. We don't question it. Okay, if the Spirit says to move into this direction, okay, after prayer, reflection, and consultation, okay, let it be. So that is why it's important that you see changes are taking place when necessary. Okay, even the rights. If you look at the rights of the what they call the funeral rites, there are significant changes. Are you aware of it? Please be aware of it. Significant changes, not minor changes. Significant changes. Okay. So these are important for us to know. But we can't cover up everything here in this morning session. But I'll give you some important things for you to remember, especially when it concerns the celebration of the Holy Eucharist. Another changes that you can see that has taken place. It's about the readers. They walk with the priests, other ministers. Okay, but at the end of the mass, they don't follow. I don't know about the practice of the Holy Family Church here. Okay, but they don't follow. Now, these are some changes that has taken place. Okay, At one time, the permanent ministers also follow in the procession. You are aware of that? You see all the permanent ministers will be following. But today, we don't see them. Their proper place is to take the suitable place there. Okay? The church. So all these are very important for you to know. Now, you mustn't make any kind of comparison. Oh, why are we doing this? And why the church is not doing now? Don't make comparison, please. Because when you start making comparison, you're already making a judgment there. Okay? This is for your own personal knowledge, that's all. This is for your own personal knowledge. Don't make any kind of comparison, don't make any kind of judgment. Okay? You go to Penang Diocese, they may have their own kind of flavor. Okay? Own kind of flavor. What I'm giving you is what is stated in the general instruction of the Roman Missal. Okay? Because I don't want you to go there out there and say, when we went for the formation in Holy Family, Father Andrew said this, you cannot do this, please don't quote all this. Please don't quote all this. This is for your own personal knowledge. That's all. For your own personal knowledge. This means that even though our liturgical practice may change from time to time, the fundamental beliefs of our faith which hold the liturgy do not change. Let us be very clear on that. We may have change in our liturgical practices from time to time, but the liturgy do not change. It remains the same. Okay? That means you have, the hymn, the readings, the gospel, the homily, the prayer of the faithful, and so on. The liturgy remains the same. Okay? Practices may change. Two different things for you to observe. Okay? Now, the other thing that I want to share with you is that when you talk about GIRM, okay? Now, this declaration that the instruction should not be looked as a doctrinal, okay? Should not be looked on as a doctrinal or dogmatic statement. It is not a dogmatic statement, but rather as pastoral and ritual instruction. So what you have here is something we call it pastoral and something we call it ritual. Okay? Because if you look and if you glance through this book, you will see lots of things based on pastoral and ritual instructions. Okay? Clear? So far clear? So far clear? Alright. So this is very important. So don't look on this document as a doctrinal or dogmatic. Okay, this is not a doctrinal or dogmatic, but it is pastoral and ritual instruction. Okay? Now, if you look at this book and you have you have the book is in it, let us just have a very okay. Let us look at the contents of this document. In this, what you call GIRM, it talks about the importance and dignity of the Eucharistic celebration in chapter 1. Okay, in chapter 1. Okay, you have the introduction there. In chapter 2, you have the structure of the Mass. Okay. Chapter 3, you have the duties and ministries in the Mass. Okay. Chapter 4, the different forms of celebrating Mass. Chapter 5, the arrangement and finishing of churches for the celebration of the Eucharist. Okay. And then you have the arrangement and furnishing of churches for the celebration of the Eucharist. And then the requisites for the celebration of Mass. The choice of the Mass and its parts. Chapter 8, Masses and prayers for various circumstances and Masses for the day. Okay? Now, in this new GIRM, okay, what do we have that? There are also few things that also added in this. The one that I shared with you in all this chapter, on all these chapters, you have that. But they have also included new elements on this document. Okay. For example, in 1975 edition, okay, you see when I say the changes have taken place compared to the 1969, 1970 and comparing to the 1975 edition, you will see there are some things that have been added in the general instruction of the Roman Mission. For example, the order of the dedication of a church and an altar. Now this came in 1977. This added point this added part came in 1977. The order of the dedication of a church and an altar. So when you want to dedicate an altar, when you want to dedicate the church, what you must do? It is done in this general instructions. You don't need to go and look for the internet and search for, okay, dedication, what must I do? It's all here. Now, the lectionary for Mass, 1981, this was also added. Okay? Book of Blessings, 1984. 1984, Book of Blessings. Ceremonial of Bishops, 1984. Ceremonial of Bishops, 1984. And then in 1986, Order of Holy Mass, it was also added. And in 1989, you also have the right of ordinations of a bishop, of priests and deacons. 1989. And finally, inculturation in 1994. In 1994. So all these were added compared to the earlier GIRM. You understand now? You see, in each certain years, they have added something new into this GIRM. Okay? So 1994, inculturation was added. That is why today we are celebrating, you know, the Gawai Mass, the Pungal Mass. We are celebrating because it's inculturation. Because it is in the GIRM. Okay? So these were all added. These were all added. And it's very important for you to know these significant changes. Okay? Now, GIRM, okay, introduces 72 new universal laws. 72 universal laws. When I say universal laws means it pertains to the whole church, not just the local church. It pertains to the whole church. Okay? 23 of these are not rigid rules. Not rigid rules. It allows some kind of variations. Variations. Okay? Or recommendations. Recommendations. Okay? 23 of these are not rigid rules. Don't take this as a rigid rule. Some will take it as a rigid instruction. Okay? If you don't do this, then the Eucharist becomes invalid. So some, we may think that way, but don't. What I'm saying here is that 23 of these are not rigid rules, allow some variations and others kind of recommendations. Okay? While the remaining 49 calls for a greater uniformity in the liturgy. Greater uniformity. The 49 remaining calls for a greater uniformity in the liturgy. Okay? For example, like processional cross. When I talk about greater uniformity, I'm giving you one example. Processional cross. What you must have in a processional cross. You all are coming for Sunday worships. Huh? You know what is a processional cross, isn't it? Who carries the processional cross? The altar boys. Okay? At some places, altar girls. Okay, don't say altar boys. It can be very prejudice. Let us look widen, not just here archdiocese, but the other dioceses also. Okay? Now, in the processional cross, when I talk about greater uniformity, you must have what?
Candlelight.
Candlelight. Huh? Yes. You must have a figure of Christ. Can you carry a processional cross without a figure of Christ? No. This is a change. Greater uniformity. Now, you go to the parish of, just for example, okay? You go to a parish, for example, like Antin. They carry the cross without the figure of Christ. Can you go and tell this to Father Danny, Father, what you are doing is wrong? Please don't go and say all this. I humbly beg you. You will put me into trouble. Okay? This is again for your own personal knowledge. That's all. Okay? But you must have a figure of Christ. Why figure of Christ? That's what the instruction says. Before that, let me read to you the GIRM so that I'm not using my own words here. If you have the book, kindly turn to paragraph 122. When I say paragraph 122, is the number there. I'm not using the pages. I'm using, that's the right way to use this GIRM. Paragraph 122. Can someone read the paragraph 122? The priests and ministers make a profound. What is a profound bow? Can someone demonstrate it? Do the ladies supposed to make a profound bow? Is it written somewhere here? No. But if you want to make a bow, so be it. Okay? But it does not mention anything about the lady should make a profound bow. It does not. What it is written, on reaching the altar, the priests and ministers. Who are these ministers? Who are these ministers? Please enlighten me. Altar servers, lectors, readers, who else? Now don't be confused when the instruction says ministers, it refers to the altar servers. Altar server, by the nature of their office, is a minister. They are not just altar boys. They are ministers actually. This is not my words, these are the very words of the document. Okay? I have no time to go into that. When I have the time, you will look into it. They are also ministers in their own way because of their office. Okay? So this is very important. Very important. Now, it's stated very clearly in 122 of the instruction that cross adorned with a figure of Christ crucified and perhaps carried in procession may be placed next to the altar to serve as the altar cross. So, this is what we call greater uniformity. Just to give you one example, greater uniformity. Okay? And at the same time, another greater uniformity here. You know, there are three, sometimes you have this sequence, you know. Sequence. You know what is a sequence? What is a sequence? Can you please share with me? What is a sequence? Huh? Body and blood of Jesus. Huh? Don't worry. We all are learning people. I'm also learning. You also learning. We all are learning. So don't worry of voicing it out. Huh? Order of Mass. When do we say the sequence? Huh? Easter morning. Corpus Christi. Not all feast days. Sequence, you say during Pentecost, Corpus Christi, Easter. Okay? As long as I know, only 3. Okay? We have the sequence. Now, what am I supposed to do with the sequence? Read together, sing together. What together? Pray together. I'm highlighting the sequence because we don't talk about it actually. We rarely talk about the sequence, but the sequence is important. It is important. You look at paragraph 64. 64. Paragraph 64. Can someone read, please? Because when you read, you'll understand.
The sequence, which is optional, except on Easter Sunday and on Pentecost Day, is sung before the Alleluia.
It's sung. Are we supposed to recite? It's sung. So this is important. Clear instruction. Of course, it is not, Corpus Christi is not there. Corpus Christi, you have the sequence. Okay? The sequence, which is optional, that means you may have other sequence, except on Easter Sunday. Oh, okay, now I get it. You see, if you want to chant the sequence, you must do it on Easter Sunday and Pentecost Day. So that means you must chant the sequence. On any other days you may have the sequence, you may recite. You understand now? Okay. But on these two important solemnities, we must chant. Okay? So this is what the church is calling for, greater uniformity. Yes, Mr. Alex. Come again. Stop. Oh, this is a very. Why the church stopped using Latin? Okay, that's the question. Okay. Now, being fair to everyone, I'm not going to dwell on this thing because why? The church want everyone to know what they are praying. Latin is good. I don't, say, there's no place. That's its place. But when it comes to worship, we want to worship in a language where everyone knows what he or she is saying and praying. Okay? The church did not stop Latin. I don't think so. Okay? Because in some other parts of the world, you still have Latin masses once in a while. Okay? But because of greater uniformity where everyone can understand his or her language, we call for a language where everyone knows about it. Okay? Sometimes you may have a Latin mass. I know one or two parishes they're having it actually. They're having it. Okay? So we're not saying that the church has put a complete stop. No. Okay? Even in my seminary training, okay, there was no special class on Latin. There was no special class on Latin. I'm not sure why it was not done. But what I'm saying here is that when it comes to a communal celebration, everybody knows what he or she is praying. So I suppose it is a language where everyone understands. And this is one of the changes that took place in the Second Vatican Council, so that everyone can worship in his own vernacular language. Okay? If not, when the Latin Mass is going to go on, some of us will take the rosary and going to recite the rosary, which is not proper also. Which is not proper, because this has happened actually. When the Eucharist is being celebrated, your focus is supposed to be the Eucharist, not to any kind of devotions. Okay? So this is also not proper, and that is why the church in all its wisdom have brought vernacular languages like English, Bahasa, and so on. Okay? So that people can express. And remember that the church also says that when you talk about the liturgy, that it has to be conscious and full participation. Conscious and full participation, that's what the church document says. That every baptized Catholic must be conscious and fully participate in what is happening in the Eucharist. Okay? So that is why this is important to pray in our own languages. Okay? Yep.
Some churches, they say the Hail Mary before the profession, after the profession.
Hail Mary after the prayer of the faithful.
Is it proper?
What you all say here? Hail Mary after the prayer of the faithful. Now let me again remind you that I'm not a liturgist here, an official liturgist. I'm a liturgist in my own parish. Okay, but not an official liturgist of the diocese. Okay, so I must be very careful with my words because someone's recording it. Yeah. So, what others? What is your feedback? Praying the rosary during the mass or after the prayer of the faithful?
At the same time, when there's a feast of Mother Mary, then they have the intention,
Okay.
and then after that, the priest will end up in saying that Hail Mary.
I don't know in Holy Family Church, okay, or any other parishes, but in SFA we don't practice that. Okay, because why? We don't mingle Eucharist and devotions together. Devotion has its place. The Eucharist is the supreme importance than any other. So, you ask me, I'm not giving an answer as a whole. For me, it is improper. Okay? Improper.
Because Mother, in choir as well, we don't sing Mother Mary song during the liturgy.
Yeah.
The mass couplets.
Yeah. So, if the priest decided to say the Hail Mary, please don't go and tell him, Father, what you're doing is wrong, Father. He will get very offended. Or only God knows. So anyway, what I'm saying is that every practice of piety has its place actually. Has its place. The Eucharist is the Eucharist, devotion is devotion. So we don't combine together everything. So that is why, as you mentioned this thing, let me share with you. There is an Italian phrase that say, "Montami dove is secreto." Montami dove is secreto. It translates, "Show me where it is written." Show me where it is written. Okay, you say, Hail Mary must say, "Show me where it is written." So this is the what you call a very well-known among the Italians. Mostrami dove è scritto. Okay, show me where it is written. Okay, now, okay. So now I will move on to some practical areas. That is, what time are we supposed to have the break? Okay. Are you all hungry? No. Can we go on until 10:15? Okay. All right. Now, I will go to some of the key points in the revised general instruction. Key points. Okay. In the revised general instruction. Now, if you take the general instruction, number 1 to 26, which is very, very important. You must read 1 to 26. Okay? You take the paragraph 21. Just take paragraph 21. Can someone read that paragraph 21? So this is very clear. The instruction aims both to offer general guidelines, okay, for the celebration of the Eucharist and other rules for ordering the various forms of celebration. Okay. Now, the celebration of the Eucharist, okay, is an action of the whole church. We all know that. It is an action of the whole church. Okay? Ordained lay ministers and members of the lay faithful, members of the faithful. Okay? And the Sunday celebration is of utmost importance in the life of the parish, and is in fact the center of the whole Christian life of the church. It is written. Okay? The celebration of the Eucharist is an action of the whole church, and each person present, ordained, lay ministers, members of the faithful, should be helped to realize that this Sunday celebration is of utmost importance in the life of the parish, and is in fact the center of the whole Christian life of the church. Okay? So everyone who takes part in the celebration of the Eucharist is to prepare himself or herself before the liturgy. Before the liturgy, that means when you come for Mass, okay, you must make time for preparation. You don't just simply walk in and or the Mass has started and then there is no interior preparation. So what is being recommended here is that everyone, not just the ministers or those who are serving as different roles and so on, everyone who takes part in the celebration of the Eucharist is to prepare himself or herself before the liturgy. Now, there's one way of preparing well for sacred liturgy. What do you think would be one way which the instruction would recommend? One way of preparing well. What do you think would be? Reading the Gospels, okay? What else? confession. Okay? I sit in the confession box, hardly one soul walk in also. So, they are not preparing well actually. If that is your answer. Early, okay. Coming earlier for Mass, okay. What else? That's one word this instruction uses to prepare well for the sacred liturgy. Huh? Huh? Silence. Yes, silence. Silence is important. You take number 45 of your GIRM, paragraph 45. Can someone read number 45?
Sacred silence, also as part of the celebration, is to be observed at a designated time.
Okay. Sacred silence, not just silence. Sacred silence is to be observed at designated times. The designated times here could be also of, when you are preparing for Mass. Okay? Of course, in the Holy Mass, we also have silence. Okay? But I believe silence plays a very, very important part in our spiritual preparation. Its purpose, however, depends on the time it occurs in each part of the celebration. Okay? So if you want to observe silence, you also have all the different parts of the Mass where you should observe sacred silence. Can someone continue reading? Thus, with the penitential act. Someone read? Paragraph 45.
Thus, with the penitential act, and again after the invitation to pray, all recollect themselves. But at the conclusion of the reading of the homily, all meditate briefly on what they have heard. Then after communion, they praise and pray to God in their hearts.
So when you receive Holy Communion, you come back and praise and pray God. You examine your own conscience. Okay? And then you will see within the penitential act. Okay? That means before we say, I confess, there has to be some silence. And then you also have let us pray, the collect. The prayer, opening prayer. Let us pray. Some silence. And then you also have at the conclusion of the reading, the first reading, second reading, silence. Not immediately going to the responsorial psalm. Silence. And then after the gospel, after the priest has proclaimed the gospel, and the homily, after the homily, some silence. To meditate. You see, the instruction has given a clear guideline how you and I should observe silence. Yes, brother?
Part of my question is, 50 or 60 of us here can observe silence. The other 1,000 out there can't. So who corrects them?
That's a very difficult question. Who corrects them? Now the thing is that one way of helping our people to grow in sacred liturgy or sacred Eucharist is to put in the parish bulletin what they're supposed to observe. One way of educating them. One way of, or even if you want to do your own personal approach, your own personal evangelism, you can do it also. Personal one-to-one. When you know that, you know this person very well. Okay? And what the person may do is not proper. Not wrong, but not proper. So you can tell the person with all charity, with all kindness, and tell the person. Okay? If you want, if you have the courage to do it. Okay? Of course, in making known to others, it is good to put it in the LCD screen or can put it in the parish bulletin. Just note that. So this is also in a way educating our people when it comes to Sunday worship. Because we can't do this during the Mass. We can't do that. Now, after the homily, let's now go through GIRM. I'm observing that some of you are not kneeling. We can't do that, is it? So it becomes, instead of a celebration, it becomes something else. Okay? Sometimes people get more angry during the Eucharist than other time, any other time. Anyway, that's one way of how we can help our people. Okay? When we have the church, few years, we were giving an instruction right after the announcement, which is allowed in the GIRM. Okay, it is allowed. Just one key, one word, and you speak to them. 30 seconds, that's it. Finished. Okay, so it's how the parish educates this parish and stuff. Okay.
I think that normally you say
yeah, the tabernacle is there. Okay. We must give due reverence, and one of it is through silence, not talking when you are inside the church. You're not supposed to talk inside the church. That's a time for you and God actually. So these are very, very important. So silence. Now, as I said earlier, a silence should also be observed within the course of the celebration of the Mass. Okay, as it is written in paragraph 45. Okay. Now, at the same time, in bringing these changes, renewal in our worship, these are also shared in the previous formation that we had here in Holy Family Church on the whole area of postures and gestures. Okay, especially when we come for the when we recite the creed, in paragraph 137. Can someone read 137? With everyone standing. Okay? Continue.
At the words, by the power of the Holy Spirit, I became man. All made a profound vow. But on the solemnities of the Annunciation of the Lord, and of the nativity of the Lord, all genuflect.
You see, it is written there. That means every Sunday when you go for Mass and you recite the creed, when we say these words by the Holy Spirit, by the power of the Holy Spirit, and became man, all of us should make a profound vow. A profound vow is not a hate vow. It's not like that. A profound vow goes right down. Until you hear a kind of sound coming from that. Hopefully you can get up again. So, this is important. Make a profound vow. Because why? God becoming man, the incarnation, the greatest event. The greatest event. God becoming man, the incarnation. So we must make a profound vow. Even if you need to stop for a while, it's okay also. Because SFA, we always stop for a while. Actually, we are not supposed to stop. We're supposed to recite, go down, and then go back. By the time we go back, the word all back. Where we are really. So that's why we have to make a stop out. Because all of us are go to that. Still cannot grasp the creed. And I'm also struggling also. Okay? That's why we all stop for a while. God won't get angry. Okay? But we must make a profound vow. But on the other solemnities, like the Annunciation, and Christmas, Nativity of the Lord, we must genuflect. No more profound vow, It has to be genuflected. Why are we doing this? Because it has its place. Because you know whom you are adoring. It's not just for the sake of rituals, yeah, it's written in the book, so we just do it. No, get the fact behind why are we doing it. The incarnation, the annunciation is the greatest good news that we have in the Bible. When the angel Gabriel make the announcing, to the young virgin. So it's very important. Now we go back to the event. So that is why we have to make all these profound work. Because why? Rituals and gestures, in a way, helps us to worship God. Worship God in reverent manner. Okay? So we will stop here. We'll take a break. And come back at 10:30. Okay?